Here's why begging to have somebody come back to you is never going to give you the relationship that you actually want.
Most women are dating for a relationship.
Y'all, why do I feel like we are not making the men beg as much as we need to?
Nothing humbles you faster than liking a conventionally attractive guy. Because if you want him, so does everybody else.
This is not a good time for men right now, and I personally am loving it.
Going on dates with high-value men is actually insane.
You're gonna see more and more women completely spazzing out because everybody's antisocial.
What happens when millions of men suddenly stop chasing relationships, and women realize the dating market feels empty without them? Why are so many modern women in 2026 complaining that men no longer approach, pursue, or even seem interested in dating anymore? And what does it mean when average men start choosing peace, money, and solitude over modern relationships? Stay with us till the end of this video, because this quiet shift is exposing a massive change in dating culture.
No, because black women really are in big trouble, like for real. I deleted the video I'm going to be talking about because it was a bunch of men in the comments coming for me. But I'm going to say this. Black men specifically were so upset because a black woman, me myself, said that if I have enough money to take care of myself, so I expect the person that I'm in a relationship with and planning to get married to should be able to take care of me. And black men just were in the uproar under that video about that. They were saying that I was begging and I can't take care of myself. Mind you, they don't know how much money I made. If they knew how much money I made, they wouldn't be saying that. But I'm not going to expose my hand to prove a point to no men in my comment section. Off a video I'm going to get paid for. Then what made me realize black women are really in trouble is the fact that white men were under that video as well, saying this is why black men don't date black women. That's embarrassing. The fact that y'all got a white man in my comment section saying that is crazy. But I'm going to just leave it at this. Every other race raised their daughters to look for a man who's going to provide for her and their future kids. So why is it a problem when black women do it? Why are we beggars when black women do it? Why are we users when black women do it? But every other race is allowed to want a man who's going to provide for them. Why?
For years, men were expected to chase endlessly no matter how exhausting dating became. Make the first move, carry the conversation, provide emotional support, spend money, and constantly prove their value. But in 2026, millions of men are quietly stepping away from that pressure completely.
Here's why begging to have somebody come back to you is never going to give you the relationship that you actually want. First off, you are fucking better than that. You do not need to convince anybody of your worth or to even be with you. Off the bat, you're starting with a power imbalance. You have put them on a pedestal that you would be lucky to have them, and you are begging them to come back as if your worth is only determined if they're in your life. The main reason being is because you associate that if they're in your life and they're giving you validation, that your nervous system is then safe. So at all costs, you will do whatever you can to achieve that safety, even if you know that they don't want to be with you or that they are not good for you. I had this where I was dating a guy and I ended it, and he did not take no for an answer. And it was beyond fucking disrespectful at that point. It was text after text after text begging me to be in his life. And after a while, I got really turned off. At first, I was okay to even be friends with him, but at that point, I wanted nothing to do with him. And the reason being because it was incredibly overwhelming to have somebody have such low self-esteem that they needed my validation in order to even get through their day and couldn't just accept a rejection and a no. You're worth more than this shit, so stop begging.
What shocks many women the most is that these men aren't angry or bitter. They're calm, focused, disciplined. Instead of spending energy chasing validation, many men are building businesses, improving fitness, gaming, traveling, and enjoying life without relationship drama.
This is not a good time for men right now, and I personally am loving it. Obviously, we all just learned how to catch a print. So now women are objectifying men, and it's the first time that they have ever felt this, and welcome to our world. And we can't look away, we can't stop. It's too great. And just watching men crash out about it.
I guarantee to you that 95% of men have no idea what you're talking about, which I think is hilarious because while women think that they're getting a one-up on men, they're getting their revenge, really all that's happening is you're proving that you are chronically online. I just don't think that this is a thing. And guys, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but are you feeling highly objectified because of this? I mean, if anything, they feel annoyed by women wanting, a very tall man and the high earner and whatnot, when they're looking to date. that is something that men talk about. Men are not really talking about how they're feeling objectified because of this whole catching a print. Most of them have no idea what you're talking about.
A lot of average men also became emotionally exhausted with modern dating culture. Endless expectations, mixed signals, social media comparisons, and fear of being replaceable pushed many guys to quietly disconnect from relationships altogether.
I just seen a man post on TikTok saying how women are talking about we need to bring back men that open doors. And he said we need to bring back women that fit through them. Flabbergasted I am, to say the least.
Going on dates with high-value men is actually insane. Do you know how many guys I've had to beg the bare minimum for, beg to communicate with me, beg to get words of affirmation? And this man literally pulled up and he was like, hey, beautiful, I was thinking about you, and I know we haven't been seeing each other for that long, but I would really love to learn more about you and connect with you. There's this app, it's, has a bunch of questions. Babe, today's question is so important. I asked you if there's anything I can do differently to treat you better. Who says those things?
And once men experience life without constant emotional stress, many become protective of that peace. No endless arguments. No pressure to impress. No emotional confusion. Just routine, freedom, and control over their own lives.
Your most attractive friends are single. Yep. Here's why. I know you know. I know you're thinking of that one friend, like that one Becky that you're like, she's hot as fuck, but she literally has never had a boyfriend. Yeah, here's why. The boys, the men, the Jimmy, the John, the James are all afraid of getting their ego hurt, okay? Men go for who they can, and women go for who they want. And when you go for someone that you want, not knowing if they want you back, sometimes you get rejected. But because men are so scared of getting their ego hurt, they won't go for someone that they think will say no to them or will reject them. Because God forbid, Jimmy John Jr. has to get rejected. How is he gonna explain that to his friends? He thinks he's Mucho Man. Girls don't just go for what they can. They have standards and they don't just go for, the bottom of the barrel, but men settle, and that's the truth.
Social media made this shift impossible to ignore. Women started noticing fewer men approaching, fewer genuine conversations, and fewer men willing to compete endlessly for attention. The same guys who once chased relationships are now emotionally detached and selective with their energy.
Guys, I know this is going to sound crazy, but most women are dating for a relationship. I know it sounds nuts. They are. And if they're not dating you, it's because they didn't want to date you. You were not the chosen one for them. So that does not mean that they are just looking to mess around and use people's money. It just means that they didn't like you and didn't want to date you. Does that make sense?
Y'all, why do I feel like we are not making the men beg as much as we need to? I feel like my girls are not standing up. I feel like we're forgetting that we're the prize. I am the win here. Like, you need to be chasing me. Y'all, I have been seeing women chase men. Why are we chasing men? We are the prize. They win when they get us. They need to be begging for us. Does that make sense? I am just tired of seeing my sisters going out sad behind some of these men, child. We are the prize. We are the win. They are lucky to have us. And that's it.
What frustrates some women the most is that these men no longer seem desperate. They're comfortable alone now. And once a man stops needing validation to feel valuable, the entire dating dynamic changes completely.
Guys, a woman will break up with you, literally snap your little heart in half, then come back, say everything that you want to hear, then take her back so that she can just break up with you again and really just put the final crack into your heart. Why does she do this? It's because when you guys are not together and there's a period of time where you're not speaking, she fantasizes about all of the good times and forgets about all of the things that did not make her happy and why she thought you were not compatible long term. Okay? So there's a sense of, I need to get back with this guy, and a sense of, I want to see if he'll take me back. How much do I mean to him? What can I say? What can I do? I want to chase for the validation. You take her back. You're hesitant. You take her back, though. A month, 2 months later, she leaves you. And then you're really destroyed and you have trauma. And that's just because she cannot articulate that she only took you back to see if the relationship that she was fantasizing about really was what existed when you were together. And when she sees nothing has changed, she leaves. And that is that.
Many modern men are now prioritizing money, fitness, discipline, hobbies, and mental peace over romance. Ironically, the less they focus on dating, the calmer and more stable they seem to become.
You're gonna see more and more women completely spazzing out because everybody's antisocial. So what's happening is women are slowly realizing that their whole life, right? For example, every time they go to the gym, you just put your headphones in and you look down. That probably doesn't work month after month, year after year. When you don't reply to every single direct message on the dating app, month over month, year over year, that probably doesn't work out very well. When every single time a dude approached you and asked you out on a date, you rejected him just to humble him or do whatever social media told you to do, women are slowly realizing that month by month, year by year, that probably doesn't work out. Okay, so what you're running into now is a generation of men who have essentially given up, and a generation of women now that don't get nearly as much attention as they used to. Men literally quit giving attention because it was completely pointless. It's like, I remember like 10 years ago on social media, right? When I graduated like high school going into college, people would actually interact, right? Like when there was a post on social, if like a hot girl posted a picture, like guys would like comment and like say things and like attempt to like talk to her, and that just like doesn't happen anymore. So the attention is going away. Men have realized that it's completely pointless, and now everybody's antisocial. So you even see complete you see like places where people should be social, right? A bar, a club, a restaurant, even a gym for that matter. Like a gym, like everybody has a common interest, and most of these people here are single. Nobody talks. Everybody just looks down. Well, here's the thing. If you're a man with some type of balls or fortitude, you don't care. So that means you're the type of guy where you'll walk up to whoever you want to talk to because you're not ashamed of your desires. So I'm here to let you in on a little secret. If you're a man in 2026 right now and you act like a man, you will be rewarded, because there's women, listen to me, there's women that are hot, that have not been approached in months or sometimes even years. You will find women where if you approach them, they will actually tell you, wow, it's been years since anybody's actually came up to me in public and had like desire to talk to me. So here's the thing. Women are slowly realizing that they're going to have to either start pursuing first or make themselves more available and open for attention, conversation, and communication. And men, what you're going to realize is if you have any amount of internal will and fortitude to go after what you want, I genuinely believe that it is easier than ever. It's easier than ever to get a date if you just do what's required. If you want to learn, understand, and master the language of women, check out what I made for you. It's in my bio, it's in my description. I have an end-to-end process you can copy-paste into your dating life and start to win. You'll love it.
The biggest twist is that this isn't some loud anti-dating movement. Men aren't protesting online every day. They are simply participating less. Less dating. Less chasing. Less emotional investment. And that quiet withdrawal is speaking louder than words.
Begged my ex-husband to take me on a date for 2 years. He didn't plan not even one.
Wait, hold on.
Date me. Win me over again. I want you to win me over again. Take me on a date. Plan a date.
Wait.
This is when I was with my ex-husband.
Yeah. No, I understand that. You told your ex-husband in an effort to make it work, you said what?
Can you plan a date for us? I want you to take me on a date.
But you said, win me over again.
Yes, I said, I want you to win me over again. Because it was
He's your
already...
husband. Why would
It
he...
was already... I want you... Let's start over. How did we fall in love? Let's do it again.
And so
Let's spend time together again.
And so you asked him to take you out on dates, and he refused.
Yeah, I said, just plan something. Buy me flowers on a random Tuesday just because you're thinking about me. It could be a flower off the side of the road.
He should buy you flowers.
I wanted him to do something for me, that he loved me.
Was he depressed?
I think so.
But was he just moping around the house? Was like he out of work, or was he working?
He was working, and then he was out of work for a vast majority of 2024, which is where I said, okay, well, he's not working anymore, so maybe now his job is going to be, I'm going to pay attention to my wife here.
Now many women are starting to realize something uncomfortable. the attention economy only works when men willingly participate in it. And millions of men are quietly deciding they'd rather protect their peace instead.
One writer posed a simple question to the nation in a recent article from the New York Times. She asks, "Men, where have you gone? Please come back."
Oh my God! Where are all the men?
So she made a call to all men, calling for them to return, because according to her, they are missing in daily life and in dating. Now, in her decades of dating, marriage, divorce, and then dating again, she says that she has noticed that men are retreating in mass, falling away from the dating scene and meeting their needs elsewhere. In her latest dating fail, she told the man that she was interested in him, but she was left on red, which brought her to this part of the story. He never replied. He still follows my Instagram stories, one of those small gestures of passive engagement that so many of us now mistake for closeness. It looks like interest, it feels like silence. There are thousands of Jameses, which is the guy. I have known dozens. The arc varies, but the undertow is familiar. What I won't entertain is directionless orbiting. That thing so many men seem to mistake for connection. The perpetual maybe. The emoji check-ins, the casual seeing where it goes without ever going anywhere. We call it a situationship. But mostly, it's avoidance, an abdication of ownership, a feeling of behavior of sex that isn't a means to an end, but is communion. Now, the one thing that I wanted to point out that she said is that she will not entertain directionless orbiting, which I think is very interesting and a great point. But one thing that, as I heard that word about, they want direction, they want leadership, though she was not able to say it just like that. Because you know what following directions typically needs? A path, and typically requires a leader. But so many women don't allow men to lead anymore, or they don't want it.
I want leadership. Like, lead me. Lead me when I'm in the mood to be led.
Now, the author eventually made a call asking the men to return, which I want to read a couple of these parts because I just thought that this was an interesting way to end this. She's basically saying they've disappeared, and she's sad and wants them back. But she never quite say why they left in the first place. She never figures that out. This is kind of the closing statements. You've retreated, not into malice, but into something softer and harder all at once. Avoidance, exhaustion, disrepair. Why are they avoiding? Why are they exhausted? Why are they in disrepair? Why? Why? Maybe no one taught you how to stay. Maybe you tried once and it hurt. Maybe the world told you your role was to provide, to perform, to protect, and never to feel. No, it's not to perform, but it is to provide and to protect. I think men are okay with that. I would argue that's a good thing. But here's what's real. We never needed you to be perfect. We needed you to be with us. Not above, not muted, not masked, just with. And you can still come back. Not by becoming someone else, but by remembering what connection feels like when it's honest and slow, when it's earned and messy and sacred. So those are some of her closing points, and I honestly do think that they were written genuinely, and she really does mean that. But in the same breath, I have heard the echoes of toxic masculinity in the background of all of those well-meaning sentiments. She writes, not muted. But then what's mansplaining? Where they just want men to shut up because they're mansplaining. She also writes, we never needed you to be perfect. But then we have notes apps with an ick list 100 bullet points long. She says, we just needed you to be with us. But then what's the whole we don't need no man? I mean, time after time, these points fall on deaf ears considering what the feminists and what women everywhere are saying. One guy said, women got what they wanted. Turns out they don't want it after all. Yeah, they want men. They still want men. This tweet, though, is written from a woman, and it went viral, which is what got my attention on the story in the first place. And she said, when will everyone come to understand that it's us who have driven men away? For decades, society has disrespected and neglected them, insisting that they are unnecessary, while only prioritizing support for girls and women. Men have been marginalized, and now we are left wondering why so many men are choosing to disengage. If we want men to come back, we need to take responsibility and give them something worth coming back for. This article, and most people, don't seem to get that. The same girl also tweeted something the day before, and I wanted to read this as well. She said, in my opinion, most, if not all, societal issues can be traced back to the lack of a harmonious relationship between men and women. Building understanding, compassion, and collaboration between the sexes is essential for addressing all the challenges we face today. 100%! I mean, that is completely true. We desperately need a generation that values men as we do women, but highlights our differences and values those differences. We're uniquely designed for a reason. Our differences complement one another. So yes, the men need to come back, and the ladies need to welcome them when they return.
And honestly, this may be one of the biggest social shifts of modern dating culture. Because when large numbers of men stop centering their lives around relationships, the entire balance between attention, validation, and romance starts changing overnight.
Nothing humbles you faster than liking a conventionally attractive guy. Because if you want him, So does everybody else. You think you're having some profound romantic connection. Meanwhile, this man has 27 unopened DMs, 5 Hinge dates this week, and some girl named Katie making a playlist for their late night drives. And that's why it feels like you're losing, because hot men do not date the way normal people date. You're romanticizing, he's optimizing. You're writing lore, he's writing logistics. You're like, this is special. He's like, this is convenient. For now. The hotter he is, the less meaningful your attraction feels. Because congratulations, you and 400 other women all independently came to the same conclusion that he has nice bone structure. Liking hot men starts to feel less like romance and more like entering a giveaway. It completely reverses the dynamic too, because instead of him trying to nervously impress you, you're the one performing. You're in a revolving door of above average looking women in push-up bras, all trying to stand out in the applicant pool. It is equal parts deeply humiliating and psychologically debilitating. Unfortunately, I will continue to participate.
So here's the real question. Are modern women begging men to start dating again because they truly miss relationships? Or because men finally stopped giving away their attention for free?
Men stopped playing by the rules, and now everyone's freaking out. Let's break down why silence has become the loudest move.